I say it's very plausible. It's a hard pill to swallow. But guess what? We don't fucking run this world. We don't own shit. We are worker ants. You ever seen the movie Bug's Life? We're fucking ants, man. To these people. You know, the people with money that actually own this planet. George Carlin's got it right, man. I seen his video almost a decade ago, I think. Basically, we have the illusion of choice. What did you say? Whether we want a bagel in 23 flavors, it's the illusion of choice. It's still a fucking bagel. So, you know, you live and you learn different things. Learn what to trust, what not to trust. Life is one big learning experience. Some people don't learn as fast. Some people who learn fast don't learn at all. I digress. I'm getting off track. Thinking about how would it feel like to wear this vest for 12 hours and not just for an hour, walking around talking to you guys. So I actually plan on using this vest for work. So I didn't buy it just to have it in the closet. I have this I want to protect people mentality. You know what they call that? Sheepdogs. Sheepdog mentality. Or somebody wants to protect the weak and the defenseless. I like to think I'm a warrior. There's a Proverbs that says, you'd rather be a soldier farming than to be a farmer in war, in time of war, which is very true. So, as men, we have to train to not just be, a fighter, but we also train for times of peace. But right now, it's not the time of peace. It's time of fucking war. People don't look at it that way, but it is. I just gotta keep on fighting. So, I'm 32 now. I'm out of fucking shape. I got kids. A 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. It fucking pisses me off to think that people are so evil that they don't care for life itself. And people become apathetic and selfish. They just think about their fucking selves and not as a group collective. That's another reason why people are out there fucking hoarding shit, because they just think, whatever, to make it easier for themselves to carry on. They don't care about everybody else. They don't care what they do. That's a messed up mentality. My oldest brother, Miguel, real smart individual. he's educated me a lot. You know, he used philosophy and explanation to try to get through me to allow myself to think critically on my own. And he's been a real big inspiration for myself to be a fighter. So, like I was saying, I'm 32. I'm out of shape, and I was losing that fight, that will to fight, and I was realizing that. So I was getting out of shape. I quit smoking, man. I'm not gonna lie, I still dip. My wife hates it. I don't blame her. I don't want to dip either, but I'm addicted to to nicotine already. It's too late. I started smoking real young, but I'm glad I'm not smoking anymore, because you got a higher chance likely to be hurt by this COVID-19 if you're a smoker. You know why? Because your lungs are already full of fluids from you smoking, and the air pockets are already damaged, making yourself more susceptible to being hurt by this. And how do I know all this stuff? Dude, like I was saying, do your research. Take your information from credible people. Don't take it at face value what the news is telling you. The media in this fucking continent is deceptive. You know, when Obama was in office, they implemented the ability to give the American people propaganda. Propaganda is lies or information to skew your thinking into believing something else, or allowing you to come up with the wrong conclusion. So, people don't give a shit anyways. People are still going to watch the news, and they're still going to take the information, and they're still going to go panic. I didn't panic. I was prepared before the panic. People were buying shit in bulk while I was just showing up for a gallon of milk. I think it's real funny that people were just last minute buying shit. It's another thing, man. I feel sorry for the people who live paycheck to paycheck. I was telling my brother this. There's people who don't even have $1,000 in their fucking bank account, and everybody hoarded all this supplies. And then you got the average Joe living paycheck to paycheck, probably has a family, like myself, probably has a family, pays to put food on the table and a roof over their head, and isn't left with more than $100 or so in his wallet or in his bank account. And he has to pay for gas to get back and forth and work, and he makes the best of his life and buys tickets to go to the zoo and takes his kids and enjoys what he can about life. I feel sorry for those people, man. Well, the fact of the matter is that if you weren't prepared for scenarios, whether it was natural, biological, nuclear, beforehand, those are the people who gotta suffer, man. They're gonna suffer from multiple things. They can't buy food, can't feed their family. Things are being bought up. things are limited, you're gonna have to make a choice. And as a man, I'm gonna tell you straight up, the choice is easy. The choice is gonna be easy for that person to go fucking hit somebody in the back of the head with a bat and take their shit, take their family's food, their water. It's gonna be easy for them. Killing people is gonna be like taking a shit to people. If this thing really gets worse, it really gets to the point where society and economy breaks down to its last strand of hope. A lot of people don't think about that. People think this shit's gonna blow over. Oh, in a week or two, this will all be over. Nah, man. COVID-19 is gonna be here to stay. And I saw in the news, there was an article online that they've come up with a vaccine. I'm very wary about shit like that. Because I'm informed. That's why I'm worried. Truth is, man, it takes years. It takes years for people to come up with vaccines. Vaccines don't just freaking pop up out of nowhere within months' time. We're too early in the game. And what makes you think China's going to be like, hey, we figured out a cure. Let me help you. Hell no. I will say this, since China was the first infected, first one to build an immunity, they got the upper hand. They got the upper hand. We owe China so much. They own a shitload of our debt. They own a lot of our debt, man. Sometime the Piper's gonna start calling, man. We're gonna start calling for his money back. And America's gonna get slapped around like a fucking bitch. We're gonna get punked for that money. You see, this is how wars start, man. That's how different wars start. World War I, World War II. World War II, we were fighting the Nazis. We're thinking about we were fighting something righteous. A lot of the time, wars happen because of crisis. From economic crisis. That's how we generate money. It's crazy to start thinking about all these aspects and how COVID-19 is really a delivery system for multiple facets of our life. You know what I'm more worried about COVID-19? I'm more worried about overreach of our own government, taking whatever rights we have left, making it's American people in bondage without even knowing it. Now, I told my brother, this COVID-19 is basically like a slow version of 9/11. You understood what I was saying. In terms that I can explain it to you is that we're spectating the first plane hit the first Twin Tower, and the explosion is on the opposite side of that building. And now we have the world's attention watching. We just don't know what's coming next. And, people have war gamed this thing. And I gotta say that some intelligent people. One other thing is that what's to say that after this COVID-19 is full in effect and our hospitals are already almost in full occupancy, or as far as capability of handling medical emergencies, and it gets overrun by COVID-19 patients and supplies is already limited. What's going to happen when this thing blows out of proportion? It's still going to blow out of proportion in certain places. Don't get me wrong. You know, there are people who are saying that we needed to lock down borders and we needed to stop international travel a month, 3 to 4 weeks before Trump actually said it. Now, time is critical, especially when it comes to the RNA aspect of this virus. The RNA is the ability for the virus to actually replicate. So, the way it was explained to me that made perfectly good sense was if this virus doubles in quantity and it doubles in a minute, at what point is the cup half full? A lot of people say, well, you know, mathematically they think, well, the cup is half full at 30 seconds if it doubles every minute. Well, not in RNA terms. In RNA terms, if it doubles in a minute, in every minute or so, or of every minute it doubles, that means that the cup was half full at 59 seconds. Think about that. So basically, it starts off little. And before you know it, before the cup is completely full, it blew up as far as the quantity at 59 seconds. People picture it slowly building up in a cup. That's not true. The way you want to look at it is that in 1 minute, the first 45 seconds, it was building up to half of the cup. And before it got to 60 seconds, you turned your head and turned back, and the cup was full. Now put that same type of mathematical or visual of multiplication when it comes to people. That affects one person. It's another thing. This thing is airborne. That means you have to be breathing the same air as an infected person or a person who's in the incubation period, and you can get it. You just have to be breathing the same air, and you can be infected with it. That's pretty insane. So people are looking at other people while they cough, and they're like, oh my God. When all reality, just another person breathing in the same fucking room can infect you. What if it breathes next to an air return? Holy shit. Your air goes through your air conditioner and goes through separate rooms. Can you imagine that in a building? say in a business building, one air conditioner could feed an entire floor, 500 rooms. They could be separately individual of probably 250 per blower. And what I mean by blower, by a fan that blows the air into those rooms. But imagine that. Somebody coughs at the air return. The air return is the filter where the air gets sucked in by the air conditioner and is redistributed throughout the house. Well, imagine that. Office building, could be on the 5th floor. It could be as little as 800 people in that building. So, somebody coughs, he gets transferred to other rooms, and every room has about 10 people in it in cubicles. One person actually contracts it, doesn't even know it, goes by and starts to leave work and goes through other floors. And before he knows it, he's already accumulated this virus in his throat. So he starts coughing too. Now, people don't show symptoms right away. As little as 4 days, people can show symptoms. And they'll start coughing. And that person coughing who's returned to work for the past 3 to 4 days because he didn't have any symptoms and starts having the symptoms, but hasn't got to the point where he's like, oh man, I'm sick, I gotta go to the doctor. He's been coughing throughout these entire 8 floors of the building, or 10 floors of the building, with 100 people per floor. So that's why it was imperative to have these international shutdowns sooner and have self-quarantine a lot sooner. Now, this self-quarantine, man, where people aren't going to be able to go to work, and I was just talking about people who live paycheck to paycheck, that's going to be detrimental to the economy. Businesses aren't going to be open. People aren't going to be getting paid. And yeah, Trump is trying to assess that and implement the bill for funding to help individuals who are impacted by the coronavirus and don't go to work and stuff like that. But businesses, either way, are going to be losing money at an astronomical amount. There's a lot of things people don't think about. Or maybe they do. I don't want to make myself seem like I think everybody's too stupid to actually think for themselves. Even though I do think there's a lot of fucking stupid people out there. So, anyway, I think I've been talking to you guys for almost an hour now. So, I am going to be getting off of this phone. And I'm making my last lap with the Testudo AR500 vest. Another reason why I want to hurry up and go home is that daylight's starting to come out and more people are on the roads, and I'm wearing a bulletproof vest. I don't want people to get concerned. A guy in tennis shoes and basketball shorts wearing a bulletproof vest is walking around, talking to himself, seemingly to nobody around him. But anyway, I hope you guys know that fear is a good thing. People wouldn't have survived this long without fear. Fear is what causes us to take action. The problem is that we're allowing fear to dictate our rational thinking. I want people to stay smart, keep their wits, to themselves, and don't lose that in fear of what you don't know. Do the research, educate yourself. Education is power. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's true. Education is power. So educate yourself. Don't live in fear. You make sure you get on your knees and you pray to Jesus that this will all be as painless and as quick as possible. Hope for the best. Expect the worst. That's all I'm saying.